Good morning, beauties. We're back, Stephanie, Supercar Mom. Today we're going through yet another car walkthrough. This is a 1996 Dodge Viper. Of course, I have Lucas.
What's up, guys? I came prepared today with the original Sneaky Pete Viper hat.
I begged him not to wear it.
I'm a dad now, though, so I need a pair of New Balance and this hat and the Viper. We're ready to rock.
And some poor-fitting jeans, and we're good to go.
Where do you want to start on this thing?
Well, we can start pretty much anywhere. So, most people don't know a whole lot of history behind the Dodge Viper, especially one of the first models of them.
The Dodge Viper never should have been created. So what was happening around the time of the Viper, the OG one, was 1992.
Yep.
Dodge was struggling, so they needed something to get people into the dealerships because as an automotive company, they were about to tank. So they looked around the shop pretty much, and I think they just found a bunch of random ass parts. And this is what came of it, which is probably the coolest piece of American automotive history ever. So 1992, they put this thing out. People were like, what is this? So to break down what this is a V10.
I think it's 8 liters, but I might be lying. I should have probably did my homework on this.
You guys will roast us in the comment section about what it is. So is it 8 or 9? I think guys actually stroke them out to 9 liters. So I think it is an 8 liter, but it's a 6-speed manual and it has no driver aids of any sort. Like no door handles, no ABS.
No windows.
No windows.
We'll go through that in a second.
I'm holding the key here, and the one cool thing about, well, there's many cool things about this car, but it actually has a fucking snake on the key. Sneaky Pete, which matches my sick hat. Do I lose the hat? I'm gonna keep the hat. The whole episode, in honor of the Viper, we're gonna keep the hat on.
Honestly, I can't take you seriously with the hat on, though.
Neither can I. I keep thinking about what I look like in the camera. So anyways, keys over there. It does have an alarm system, but it doesn't actually work. You can't actually lock the car unless the battery dies.
Oh my goodness,
So,
this battery.
Yeah, tell the battery story, Steph.
So we had brought this to our house. We had left it without putting a trickle charger on it, not even thinking about it because we had been busy and we just parked it and that was that. We went to start it up last week to do this video and it was dead. Dead.
Completely dead.
Tripped the alarm, which then locks us out from being able to start the damn thing. Then to get to the battery.
Yeah, come back here actually. So in order to get to the battery, you have to go through a fender piece here.
We had to come back on here to tell you this.
We literally sat here to go hit a quick thumbnail at the end and I'm like, that looks like a battery. And then I'm like, could we not have just ground right here? So yeah, we could have. And as you can see, this actually does not have the shroud on it anymore because how long it took us, Steph and I are like pretty good with cars. It took us like 2 hours.
Was it that long?
And a whole other day pretty much to get this stupid thing off. Yeah, because remember how many different bolt sizes?
Okay, so I don't know who built this car, and it must have been built on a Friday because every single bolt for the liner was a different size. I think we used 6 different sockets.
Yeah, there was
something
easily
absolutely
six different sockets.
So that whole story that we just told you guys about pulling off the rear wheel liner, we didn't have to. We could have just popped this damn thing open if I had known or we had known about it.
We finally get it charging. And I go to fire it up and it goes alarm system set. So it goes to start and then it just dies. And I start going on the Reddit forums, whatever. And what you have to do, we can't show you because it's so far in there, but you actually have to cut a cable. So I had to rip the whole underside of the dash open. And then you just find the green wire with the orange stripe, you snip it, and then it's perfect.
2 other things. He couldn't fit under there because his shoulders are enormous. So he called me out to cut it. So I'm under there, pregnant
and sick. Steph was really sick.
I was so sick that day, and literally just underneath the car, snipping wires, stripping wires, reconnecting stuff.
You snipped the first one, and it was actually didn't work. It didn't do anything.
There was 2 sides of it. It went in and then back out. So we snipped the bottom because we figured there'd be more room to work with it. Nope, didn't work. We had to go with the second wire. So it connected to something. But anyway, now the alarm is disconnected.
So if you ever get locked out of your Dodge Viper, which you probably don't drive it anyways if you have one, because that is one thing about Dodge Vipers that I realize nobody drives the car.
Literally no.
So the average, I think they might actually be worse than Porsche owners. They have less than 1,000 kilometers on them. It's known for Vipers to crash into trees. Majority of these, of the first generation ones, have been totaled. People say it's because of the ABS. People say it's because there's so much torque in the car. I don't think it's either of those things. I think it's because they all have 20 to 30-year-old tires because the owners never replace them because they've only put like 1,000 to 2,000 kilometers on them.
And the tires in the back are so wide and also so close together that they sit on the cup of the road. So you're constantly fighting with the car because it keeps cups.
The wheel spacing is not wide enough. Talking about tires. So in the front, we have a 17-inch rim with a 235 or 245. Remember.
I will check.
While Steph's checking that, over here in the back, we have a 345 on a 19-inch rim. What did you find, Steph?
This is a 275.
This is a 275.
35, 18. That is a big ass tire for a front.
So this is basically the same rear tire as what's on the M6.
It's bananas.
I think it's a 285 on the M6.
That's ridiculous.
I was just browsing Marketplace. Jake and I were just sitting actually on the couch right over there. I found this thing and it was a really good deal. So I made an even worse lowball offer and the guy actually said yes. And so this was originally an Ontario car, but it was actually living in Halifax. And I was like, Jake, can you give me one reason why we shouldn't buy this car? And he couldn't. So we bought it.
Just like that.
The problem was though, it was in storage and it's a Viper. So you can't really drive this in the winter, although I did just drive it in the winter a couple days ago.
That's why it's so dirty. We'll go through that too in a minute.
Yes.
Babe, no.
Hi.
That stresses me
It's
out.
good for the gel. It's good for the gel coat.
No, it's not.
We couldn't pick up the car until May, and it was in heated storage. And I still can't take myself seriously with this stupid hat.
You should take
No,
the
I'm
hat
leaving
off.
it.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
committed at this point. We're 10 minutes in. You guys are stuck watching me wear this thing. We flew out to Halifax. We're gonna make a bet to see who guesses the exact number of amount of fuel that we spend on this trip. And literally, Jake and I, we had the trip of a lifetime.
Dude, this is cool. This is beyond cool.
So we put more kilometers on in 2 days than most people put on this car in a lifetime. Anybody who's bought a car sight unseen, there's always like in your heart, you're like, I really hope that it looks like what is advertised.
Thank you so much for like showing up and it looks like what it is.
Yeah.
Like I said, we've walked on a few bikes in the past.
But there's always that hesitation or like chance that it's gonna be a total train wreck. The guy pulled up, met us at the hotel. We could hear it coming from a mile out. He didn't actually put plates on it.
We remember having these on our walls, you know, right?
And this is actually a funny story. When we got there, we didn't have enough time to make it to the DMV.
Our options are we can either buy a used plate on Kijiji.
That's what we need to do.
To get the registration or the plate. And so we're like, hey, we have about 2,000 kilometer drive ahead of us. There's no way we're gonna get away with not having a plate. And when the owner showed up, he didn't have the plate. He said, oh, I already returned my plate. So he actually drove it
Without plates
with
as well?
to Halifax to the hotel with no plates on the thing. So it just rolled up unplated.
That's so
So Jake
funny.
and I were like, okay, we have two options. We can either print a plate out in the hotel lobby and just make like a fake plate and stick it on there. Or we can go on Kijiji and find an era-specific plate.
They're gonna work great.
Oh yeah.
We got a backup for the next one that we picked.
So come over here, Gustavo, I'll show you. We found this plate that was last registered in 1990. We actually made the entire trip back from Halifax using this plate.
Hilarious at the plate.
Hold on though.
Yes.
Is this registered now?
No. So this plate's still not registered. So the thing with this car, obviously it's registered, it's insured, all those things.
Obviously, yeah.
But the plate, first toll bridge that we hit, he's like, Dodge Vipers don't pay tolls.
What's that? Oh, amazing, thank you.
Mopar, baby. What did he say? Let you go because you have a Viper?
Yeah, literally.
Bro, that's sick. So he let us just go across the bridge multiple times because we were trying to get drone. You'll see the drone shots right here. Side note, the V10 was helped, the build of this was actually assisted by Lamborghini. So Lamborghini was known for their V10s, V12s. They actually assisted Dodge in building this car.
Hold on, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah, so a little Wikipedia fact for you there.
Oh.
But in order to stay kind of like relevant to the era, Jake and I went and we went to a thrift shop before and we bought like 15 cassette tapes of like old Boston, Nirvana, like whatever we could find
I
that was
love
like
it.
era specific.
Just Boston and cigarettes.
Have you ever been in an
I've been
RT10?
On the track with it.
With an
not,
RT10?
Not this one. It was a TA.
What's a TA?
2000. I don't remember the year.
Oh, so
Terrible.
SRT10.
Nope, just TA.
What's that mean?
It's just one of the submodels.
Oh, okay, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. They're terrible on the track.
Oh, they're terrible on the road. As it finds a lane, it's just like, yeah, I'm taking that.
Worse. Also
They're so bad. Obviously, the badge is super sick. Basically has like a reptile, like snake skin over it. It's friggin' awesome. I think this is a cooler car. It's gonna be terrible, but I actually think this is a cooler car than the Lamborghini. It drives like shit. It's not near, how would you feel about that?
I'm upset about it. I might just leave.
Do you agree?
No.
Oh.
Not even a little bit. It is
a
a super cool car, but not Lambo cool.
It's cooler than the Lambo. The Lambo drives way better, like it's not even in the same league. But for what this car is, the era that it came out, this changed the direction of Dodge. It saved them. Stuff's
Lambos
still pissed
are
about
still
Lambos.
cooler.
But it is a V10, so,
Yeah, it
and
is.
your Lambo's not 6-speed, so there's that.
Wow.
Shots fired. The roof lines are absolutely incredible. The curved windshield, it's like, it's a race car. This is like rough sex, cocaine, and like freedom. It's America. In fact,
Okay, we're going there then today, guys.
it even says in the door, there's on the inside of the engine bay.
Oh, with this, yeah,
This-
these are super cool.
One of the weird things about a Dodge Viper is that they didn't put a hood release in the car, just like there's no door handles. You reach under here, you can go up to any Dodge Viper owner and you can pull this handle. So now, to open the hood, you're supposed to use 2 people. So Steffi, I'll get you on that side.
Okay, so this is actually the first time
You've opened this?
I've opened this, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so Gustavo, come over here and check this out.
This is composite.
This is composite. So what happens if you don't do 2 hands opening this? You can crack this hood. I don't even imagine what the hood costs. Probably like 10
Probably
grand?
something obscene,
knows?
yeah. And then refinishing it would suck because it would never quite be the same.
Everyone's always like, oh, Vipers are so dangerous. Like we were getting like messages from all of our friends, like you guys make sure you're careful on the way home because they're torquey, you're gonna die. I hope it doesn't rain because you're gonna be in the ditch.
Oh my God.
And so what happened was Jake and I got in it and we matted it in like first, second, third, like as we were leaving Halifax. And I'm like, this thing is not what people say it is. I'm like, there's gotta be something wrong with this car. So I think it's probably something simple, like maybe fuel. Actually, I have no fucking.
And now we're concerned it might be a kit car, and
Might not be a Viper.
might not be a Viper.
Like maybe there's an airflow issue or a gas issue, but it sounded great. It was running great. Temps were perfect. We pulled over in Quebec and we checked the throttle cables, and you'll see right here has this little piece attached. Pedal is not, you know what I mean? Like if this cable is not tensioned enough, like that's a long, you know what I mean? So what had happened, and I don't know if it was the previous owner because he was worried about the torque, and it was an older guy, was he extended, or these have become extended. So when you were putting full throttle, it wouldn't actually rev past like 3,200, 3,300 RPM. I never told you this.
No, you didn't.
So Jake and I were like screwing around down here. We realized when we pull these tight, we'd actually get full range of the RPM. So we're like, oh, it's just a throttle cable. So then we found these at a hardware store, we slapped these on, and now when you literally third gear, if you're at like 2,500, 3,000 RPMs and you mat it, it'll roast the tires.
This roasts the tires without any effort. It's the craziest thing.
Oh yeah. Hello. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's a Viper, baby.
There is a thing that a lot of people are like, oh, it's actually a Lamborghini engine. It's not a Lamborghini engine, it's Dodge. But they did consult Lamborghini for assistance on how to get this V10 to work in this car. This car is pretty much stock.
It is stock, yeah.
Completely stock, actually. Except for, I don't think that this came stock, but this is a factory option, I believe, but it was an add-on. But I don't think this car originally came with it. I think it was added on after, and then this was paint match. There's a subtle difference in the paint if you really look close here.
So the windows are actually, there's no windows here at all. There's no window inserts, there's nothing. But there are a couple of little tabs. And in that goes 2 pieces of plexiglass with 2 little sliders. That's all there is. Do you have them with you? Take a look at this. This is the window. It doesn't move, it doesn't come out, but it has a cute little slider so that you can get into the car because there are literally no door handles. So you slide this open, you reach inside, and you unlock the door. I've been in this car twice now.
Yeah.
You took them off the first time we went for a drive together.
Because we took the roof off.
As we took the roof off, that's right. And then last week, once
Yep.
we got this darn thing started, we decided at 10 o'clock at night, and it was cold, to take it out without windows. And then we decided not to park it in the garage because we didn't feel like it.
Oh, yeah.
With the windows down, thinking that it wasn't going to be a problem, it bloody rained overnight.
And then I had to drive in it soaking wet the next morning. That's why all my towels and coats are in here before we started filming.
Oops. Also, that's why it's so dirty, is because we took it out in February.
In the salt.
In the salt and in the rain. So Viper owners are probably swearing at us on the other side of the screen right now. We're very sorry.
Yeah.
But it was a hell of a lot of fun.
We've effectively pissed off the Porsche owners, the Ferrari owners, and the Viper owners. That's like the first time in history. Want to look at the interior real quick?
We can look at the interior. The interior is actually pretty cool. It looks dated-ish, but it's actually, in terms of like the fit and finish, is pretty cool for what it is.
And the seats are like a little cockpit. But it's quite a lot of room. So interior of the Dodge Viper is pretty cool, actually. So this had like the blue interior stitching option. Pretty much everything is leather or vinyl or plastic. Like you could go through a hurricane in this and there'd be no water damage. It was pretty well optioned. I mean, it's got a cassette player. It has AC.
Hold on, does the AC work in this car?
No, the AC doesn't work.
Okay, I was gonna say most of the AC in most of his cars don't work. So.
Also, it is hot as hell in here in the summer. I don't know why, but all of my cars don't have any AC. Standard light switches, there's really nothing complicated about this car. It's all analog. The gauges look really cool, like the white gauges. I think in the 90s that meant really fast, so it added horsepower. You've got a tach here on the right, and then on here you've got a speedometer that goes to 320, and this car in no way in hell is doing 320 kilometers an hour, I can tell you that. I think top speed for this was 176.
Something like that. It was under 200.
175, something like that. So anyways, that's the interiors. Like I said, unbelievably comfortable. Jake and I, we spent 1,500 kilometers over 2 days. Very comfortable car to drive and very comfortable car to sit in. We had no complaints. I also love that, like the LP, this has nothing on the steering wheel.
I was going to say about this steering wheel, it reminds me of like the racing steering wheels from back in the day. Like I had one on my Civic like this, like the Momo steering wheels. I'm sure most of you guys are laughing at me right now. It's like a Momo steering wheel. It is very like simple and very basic, and it's a comfy steering wheel, and it does what it's supposed to do. You just get in and drive the damn thing.
It's sick.
Also, it's really funny that the ashtray is literally the most one of the most prominent things in this car. It's so indicative of the time.
If you're not smoking cigarettes in here, you're not driving a Viper. And and then on here, so apparently I was informed by one of the Viper Club owners, when you get a Viper, everybody like that owns a Viper or knows about Viper, you are part of a club now. And so one of the Viper owners that we know informed me that there's different variations of Sneaky Pete here. So there's Sneaky Pete, then there's another one.
Yeah, they're all different They all have a different look and in different generations. Are they all called Sneaky Pete, or are they different names?
I think one's like Slithery Sam or something. I don't know.
Oh, so they have different names.
Yeah, they have different names.
I know that the images were different. I actually didn't know that the names were different. I probably should, guys. I've worked at Chrysler for a decade. I'm terrible. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Let us know what you think of the 96 Dodge Viper. Thanks so much for joining us again today, Supercar Mom. Of course, like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions or if there's anything else you want to see on future episode. Thanks, guys. Love you.
Also, we can't let you go without a cold start. So, here it is.
Here we go. Man's gal wanna come undress me. Swing with a right, but I might go lefty. I make plus with it, so don't test me.